Greetings, I'm the one called Horace, and welcome to VG Therapy, the channel where I talk about games. Now, back in the day, I used to be a bit of an NES collector, as I was trying to build a complete collection. However, I was doing this rather passively, as I wasn't going online trying to find the best deals for everything. Instead, I was just going to various game shops and just picking up what they had, what caught my eye. And so this has left me with a large assortment of NES games that I know nothing about, such as Rollergames. A game that I just thought was a Konami sports game until I actually looked at the back of the box and saw screenshots that implied that this is more platforming than sports. And so that got me curious as to what's inside this little cardboard box.
Well, what's inside is a Konami game that was released in 1990 in the US and 1991 in Japan, with my Australian copy having a copyright of 1991. And it's apparently based on a show of the same name that at a glance looks like roller derby wrestling, but dumber somehow, which is what the arcade version from 1991 was based on. While the NES version is completely different, with the only similarities being that you play as characters on roller skates and there are announcers and presenters who are from the show.
Well, if the arcade version is just the sport, then what the hell's the NES version, you may ask? Well, to find that out, I first took the manual to see what the story was about. And boy, did I know I was in for a treat as soon as I saw mentions of the CIA and FBI.
The game is about a terrorist organization known as Viper, which stands for Vicious International Punks and Eternal Renegades, being short on funds for their terrorist activity, so they infiltrate roller games to get the prize money, corrupt 3 skating teams, and kidnap the commissioner of the games, Emerson Skeeter Bankhead. So as a result of the CIA and FBI not being fast enough, smart enough, or tough enough for the job, it's up to one of 3 freewheeling skate wizards to rescue the commissioner and to stop Viper.
Man, I freaking love this. I mean, you can see why I thought it was surprising that it was actually based on a TV show. And yeah, in-game they do allude to it being a TV show, but since they talk about it being the most popular sport of the 21st century, I kind of figured that was just part of the story, kind of like Smash TV.
Because right afterwards you get to pick one of 3 teams and then into the streets and start punching dudes. And here we get to see how the game plays. It's an action platform where you jump over pitfalls and hazards while punching dudes out. There's a unique gimmick to it where you kind of slide around, which makes sense, you're on roller skates, but it can make things a bit finicky, and the main thing that was constantly tripping me up was the fact that once you jump, you can't correct your jump, which led to many a death. But outside of that, getting through the levels are fun, and while precise platforming and momentum-based movement don't mix well, they do make it feel even cooler when you manage to jump perfectly between hazards and not lose speed.
Although some of the hazards can just go die, especially those fire columns, because they're normally not too big of a problem, they're not that big of an issue, but the problem is that there's a couple of levels that are auto-scrollers.
Auto-scrollers are found to be usually pretty bad, but that's not the point. The point is that at the end of the first one, there is a barrage of fire columns, which not all of them turn on, so you have no idea which ones to dodge and which ones to ignore, which results in you taking a lot of damage just before the boss of the level. And a note on the bosses of this game, at various points the game turns into a beat 'em up for a bit before continuing. I feel that they are well done and they thankfully get rid of your sliding around for them so you can actually move like a real human being. And the 4 boss fights of the game take place here. As the 2 in the auto-scrolling levels you just have to wait out, so I won't really count them, but the 4 bosses you do actually fight, I found myself not really caring for or found them annoying. As the first boss is alright, dodges attacks till he gets tired and attack him then, but since he only moves along one axis, it's really easy to dodge. The second is annoying because you have an enemy dive kicking around while he stabs through the floor at you until you kill the enemy, which makes him take you head on. His second phase is fine, but the first is a bit annoying. And the third boss, I didn't get what I had to do, but once I did, it was super easy. The last boss is a pain though.
Now I was playing as Rolling Thunder, so it might be different if you're playing as Icebox or California Kid, but I highly doubt it.
So what the final boss is him sending a couple of goons at you before coming down himself, which is no issue, but his attacks are weird. I throw some punches at him, but he punches back so he doesn't get damaged, but sometimes I do, even when I'm the one hitting him, and he can break out at any time. But the thing that messed me up the most was his jumps. He jumps all over the place, which is annoying, but not an issue. The issue is that he will randomly jump, and he hits you on the way up. He doesn't jump then do a strong attack, his jump is an attack, which can lead to me getting hit by him jumping up and by him landing, which mixed with all of his attacks having priority and being able to drain my health super quick makes him a pain.
Looking online and finding guides and gameplay footage, I saw people weren't really having that much of a problem with him, so I don't know, it might just be a me thing, but whatever, it's not that big of a deal. Because I still had a lot of fun with this game. It was really fun overall. And yeah, it's got some kinks. And so I'll give this game a 3 out of 4 because as far as NES games go, it's pretty good. Pretty fun, it's pretty enjoyable. And I'd love to see a modern take on it. Because what other game can you say that you are on rollerblades and you're fighting a helicopter? Hang on a second. I've been Horror Show, and this was VG Therapy.